All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is June 4th, 2018. This is a Monday night webinar, and the title of tonight's webinar is Looking Left to Trade the Right. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we'll go ahead and get started. By the way, just real quick show of hands. How many of you are familiar with looking to the left to trade the right? How many of you have heard that term before with Viper? Because I know a bunch of you have that are members. Yes, absolutely. And have you learned it? Do you do it? Because it will flat make a difference in your trading. What I want to show you real quick too, I went ahead and started this like yesterday because I want to show you a little trick that you might take a shot at. Do it in sim, for a week or so if you wanted to. But I want to show you how to make some money on Sunday night. Because you ever notice that they kind of just pop them right out of the gate? Well, you can take advantage of that with Object Trader. And I know some people do that. Because if you were thinking about this, this is what this closed at on Friday, okay, on YM. And yet, at the open of the market, you don't know if it's going to shoot up like a bullet or shoot down like a, drop like a, a rock to the bottom or what, right? But we've got some tools that'll help you out on that. I want to show you something here. Now, you don't have to do, to make decent money, you probably want to do a couple of contracts or so, okay? But I like to trade YM because it's fairly volatile, especially like on Sunday, to give an example. And one that you can actually use bar close, or you can use stealth. Now stealth, you'll notice, is already green, but if they were to pull down quickly and turn it green again, it would take the trade. Okay. Since it's green, you could also even do, just do a stealth and we'll go ahead and do long on one side and short on the other. Okay. And you'll find out that on these market opens, they do pretty quickly, just rapidly give you some really quick, nice trades. They really do. Okay, let me just show you what I'm talking about because I like to trade this on Sunday night. Yesterday, I used a bar close on YM, and amazingly, it didn't even, a lot of those bars that show up immediately, are not really, the prices that are there, or they're so quick that it doesn't even trigger. Okay, but watch what this does. I'm going to go ahead and forward this. This is on market replay, and I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit to where we can get close to the open. Yesterday was at 5 p.m. Central Time. We'll stop it just when it gets close. That's probably close enough. Okay, we got about 1 minute and 54 seconds because I want to show you what happens when these markets open. I just thought I'd show this to you first before we start talking about looking to the left to trade the right. Because anybody that got in YM last night, to give an example, they had a beautiful thrust down, a beautiful, shot back to the upside, and then a good retracement to a phantom. And I'm going to show you a little bit about phantom tonight too, because that is looking to the left to trade the right. You are looking for these deeper retracements. Let's see, we've got about a minute left. Unfortunately, I can't really speed it up or we'll actually just miss it. So give it just a minute and we'll get there. By the way, this is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. So obviously, I covet your questions, okay? So be sure and put any in that you want to know about. We've got certain words that we use in the room, that you might not be familiar with, especially if you're newer, like phantom and midband and things like that. So be sure and ask. Okay. And, watch this. This is about 30 seconds away. I want to just show you something that really can, and this one's not on. Let's turn it on. Notice that I've got Auto Trader on so that it'll actually stay on, and you'll see real quick what can happen. Now I've got my Object Trader set at a maximum of 3. That way, we don't just jump into a whole bunch of contracts. Here comes about 7 seconds. Okay, you notice that you got a short, pretty nice, quick little short, right? You got your stop in. Look at that, 3 1/4. Now watch this side right over here. And by the way, you could turn off the side that already fired because you don't need to take another one, right? But you're now looking for the opposite side. And watch what actually happens. See there's your little trade there on YM. I'll go ahead and speed it up just a little bit so you can see it. Now let me ask you a question. If you were trading this in real time, couldn't you just go, you know what? That's good. That's like almost $500. Could you just click the button? And the answer is absolutely yes. Everybody see that? Okay. So, one thing when you're trading, you don't have to go for, just literally gusto type trades if you don't want to. Okay. Because a lot of times you just want to look at that right there, that P&L. Because, for instance, if you get to $500, if you could do that each and every day of your life, that's not a bad way to actually trade, right? Now, let me show you something that also set up. I'm going to just show you this, and then we're going to go into some of the regular stuff. There's a little stealth there. Now, will that one work? We'll find out. Maybe, maybe not. Stopped us out. Okay. We're 265. Let's see if we get another green stealth. That's your phantom. That's your phantom. First time into phantom after a trend change can be a pretty good trade. And by the way, stealth's going to be a little bit later, but I want to show you how awesome this little tool can actually be. There's your stealth right there. Okay. Now move a target out of the way, by the way, and then look how nicely this little trade just literally just went and went and went and went. And by the way, if you leave it on auto, you'll notice that if it gets another green stealth, it'll go ahead and add. See how it just added again? That's because basically we were down to 1 because we had already hit targets. So if it gets another green stealth, it'll add till it gets to the total of 3. Okay. Now keep in mind that this could be real stuff as far as that goes, because that market moved like crazy last night. Now notice that I've got no green stealth again there. It just added again to 3. I just wanted to show you this real quick. And you get some nice targets, right? You could move your one target out of the way because this was really moving, and I probably would have. But let's go ahead and go with another green stealth and just see. This is on auto. Okay. Let's just see if we get another green stealth. Green stealth. Wow, that's moving fairly quick, isn't it? Of course, I've got it on 200 times, so that's fairly quick. Anyway, you get the drift of it, right? That could be definitely not a bad little trader for you. We used to in the Viper room all the time, as a matter of fact. We would actually trade oil on whatever color the stealth went. In other words, it could have been going up all night, and we would simply turn on stealth and take the trade. And if it's a red stealth, we'd take a short, and if it was a green stealth, we'd take a long. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and fast forward this because I want to show you how to trade this now by looking to the left to trade the right. Why did I stop, Brian, on your question? Well, I just didn't move my target out of the way. It's not a biggie. Naturally, you would have actually put your, well, we're going to start getting stopped because this is sideways stuff in the middle of the night. Okay, let's just see if it fires again just for the fun of it. Now, what I also like, let me show you another little tool that I like. This one right here, this little power meter, is really good also. Let's go ahead and put our stop just underneath that swing. See how nicely you can get that going? Let's see, no trading the CL Stealth you just talked about. The CL, well, this is YM right here. But remember when I talked about, we've done this quite a bit in the past where we actually turned on the Stealth on oil, to give an example. But since then, we've come up with another great tool in our trading arsenal, and that is to actually trade the box, the region box, which I called this morning, by the way. Remember when I called that on oil this morning? Okay, so that's enough of that. That's just kind of showing off what Object Trader can actually do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just close it again. I've got this going like 200 times so we could actually see it. And you'd move your target out of the way, obviously, and just keep moving it, right? Oh, absolutely, you can trail stop too. Now, I'm running this, I was running it at 200 times, but let me show you real quick how to do the trail stop, and then we'll get into talking about looking to the left to trade the right. All right, let's say that you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning, okay? And you happen to see this is actually happening to your YM trade, and it's just going through the roof right now, right? Okay, so what could you do to protect your coin? Now, I've only got one contract left, but we've got a little tool built into this that you can actually turn on power meter. Notice how lightning is actually just simply heading up. Well, that's green. That's kind of hard to see. But anyway, here's your lightning right here. There's another little swing under here. I'm going to draw lightning 1. Lightning 1's got a swing right under here. Now, to me, that's too far down. I don't like that kind of a trail stop. But did you know we have a tool built in here where if you get this monster of a move, for instance, you can just simply go to trend, turn on line 6, enable it, set it for exit on close, and if that closes below that line 6, you could be out of that trade. Okay, because we have trails built into Object Trader. Let's see, so OT recognizes when Stealth turns green. Absolutely it does. It recognizes when it turns green or red, which is pretty cool, actually. Okay, pretty cool. Now, keep in mind that if I wanted to protect this, I could also, let's see if we can protect this a little bit. I'm going to go with line 5 instead and give it a little bit of wiggle room. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Instead of talking about Object Trader now so much, we'll talk about how to look to the left to trade the right. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward this to the time that we open the room. Okay, so bear with me just 1 second. We're not going to care about this trade. I'm just going to close it. All right, I'm going to fast forward real quickly to about 7:50, which is when we start trading. Let me get rid of Stealth. We don't really want it turning on. And we'll go for about 7:50 in the morning. We'll be fine. Okay, we open the room at 7:59. Bear with me just a second. I'm going to have it there. Got to go about 500 times to get it there real quick. Okay. And let me get rid of lightning on here. And I'm going to show you how to look to the left to trade the right. We're going to get rid of lightning 2. And we'll get rid of lightning 1. We don't really need it right now. Now let me ask you a question. And I'm going to put a different chart on here because I want everybody to see this. Because looking to the left to trade the right will change your trading literally forever. We've got people that once that epiphany hit them, they go, oh my goodness, I can't even believe how accurate this can be. Okay, I'm going to put up the webinar YM, and we'll get rid of predictor. Okay, and I'm going to just simply show you. Let's go ahead and put lightning like that. Okay, now let me ask you a quick question on here. Without seeing all the other stuff, anything at all, what would you think if you were looking at this? This is actually what kind of a trend? Well, it's absolutely an uptrend, right? Now, it is retracing as we speak. See it right here? Okay. But if you draw your lines on your charts, all right, say right there at that 43, okay? Now, wouldn't you think that more than likely, if they come down there and test that, that's probably going to be a pretty good trade? Anybody? Well, it actually, let's just look at it. Looking to the left to trade the right. Keep in mind that you're always looking on the right to see what the actual, pardon me just a second, did it lock? Let me get it. Sorry about that. Okay. If you actually look to the left, this is the left side of your chart and this is the right side of your chart. Okay. You're always looking on the right to see where it's in with the left side of the chart. You know, in other words, let's say that if I was looking to trade this and I got up and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to trade this until I get some kind of a retracement. This is going to be a little sweet spot. Okay. Because I'm looking to the left to trade the right. Now, right now, you're getting a little bit lower highs, a little bit lower lows and a little bit lower highs. But if you look to the left, let me show you how lightning is actually doing here. Just one sec. Okay, now notice that you have a high, you have a low, and you have a higher high. Okay, now this is what we call our identified swing. This is actually your medium identified swing. Now, as long as it's higher than that, this is still an uptrend, by the way. It doesn't matter if this is doing this right here, because all that's really doing is like an ABC or maybe even a ABCDE as far as that goes to try to get down here. Okay? And if you look to the left to trade the right, you're going to find yourself, well, making sure you don't get into the wrong side on the trade, I'll put it that way. How many of you have shorted a market thinking that it's breaking down and then it just bounces right in your face? Anybody? Anybody at all? Or the opposite? Have you ever gone long and all of a sudden it just craters? Well, I'll tell you what, if you look at those particular swings, you're going to be pretty amazed. Because remember when we shorted oil this morning where I called that trade on oil? It had been going up quite a bit. And what did it do? It ended up breaking this swing right here. Okay, and I'll show that to you on oil in just a few minutes. Okay, does anybody have any question about what I'm saying about looking to the left to trade the right on this chart? Now, we're just looking at Lightning 3 right now. Okay, now notice that Lightning 4, our power meter is still green, and our Lightning 1 and 2 are even green right now. So we're still looking for uptrends at this time. If you were looking at this chart to go short, you would have to break on the left this swing right here. Everybody see that? So for instance, now does it mean you couldn't take a real quick, short that you scalp or something? No, you can do anything you want when you're trading. But for this to actually change trends, this would have to be broken, in my humble opinion anyway, a good amount. Let's just go ahead and put a crimson, that's fine. All right, and then it would have to retrace. And then it would have to roll over and break down. Okay, so looking to the left side of this chart, does everybody know what I'm talking about with identified lightning? High, low. When is this low identified, Viper traders? Anybody? It's identified when it takes out that swing. It's not identified until it takes out that swing. This is not identified. This is not identified. This is not identified until it takes out the swing. See how that just kind of double topped? It took it out a little bit, but when it really took it out was right here, wasn't it? So it's the same thing over here. You're looking on the left side. Now, could you have actually shorted this in a little bit of this action here? Yes. But you're going to have to do it against green charts and everything if you do it. Because the way our trend software catches things, it keeps you on the right side of the trade. Okay, so let's look and let's see if we can look to the left to trade the right. All right, so we're 7:30. We haven't opened the room yet, right? We haven't opened the room. We opened the room at like 7:55. So let's go ahead and fast forward this to 7:55. And then I want everybody to tell me what trade you're looking for. There's 7:55. There's 7:59. There's our little box right there. Okay. Now, looking at that box, what do you think? Anybody? Anybody at all? Well, looking to the left to trade the right, I would probably be doing something like this right here, because this looks to me like it's just bouncing off a predictor to begin with. Okay. So more than likely, I would probably go ahead and take a shot at this thing if it would just simply give me a little box. Okay. So let's see what it does. Here's 8 o'clock right here, by the way. Everybody see this? Let's go ahead and let it do one more bar. See if we can get one more bar. Now here's looking to the left to trade the right. You got to swing right down there. See it? Trust, retrace, trust. All right. So to head up, we need a higher low than that, don't we? So if this actually comes down below mid-band at all, and even comes close to tagging that line, I would take this trade. Okay, so far they're doing a little micro dance to the downside. We need a higher low to continue heading up on this. Okay, now this would be an aggressive trade, by the way, and I'd be watching it like this. And the second that bar closes to the upside, you could actually hit the buy button. See how it just hit the swing right there? See there? That's that little trade we called in the room this morning, by the way. Okay, on crude oil. Anybody see why and how I took that? Just looking to the left to trade the right. Okay. Now notice if you look at this little chart right here, see you have a thrust, a retrace, and a thrust. Well, a little bit of a double top, but let's just draw it. Thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust. So there's your micro swing, okay, on the left side. And then here's your other swing. Well, you've got one here and you got one here. But this is actually a larger one right here. Let me draw it. Okay, see it? Thrust, retrace. That's your swing. Notice how that's a higher low. Because what's the definition of an uptrend? Is higher lows and higher highs, right? Okay. Now, could you protect some coin right in here? And the answer is absolutely yes, right? You could also put your stop just under line 6, and you got your target. Okay. That's how we actually traded this morning, if anybody remembers. Okay. And so what are you looking at now? Anybody? Look to the left to trade the right. So let's see if we can get it. All right, let's see. We've got a swing right here on the left. We've got a swing that they've already tested right down here. And we got another swing right here. Everybody see that? Okay, so we're gonna try one more trade and see if we can get one more trade on this. Now I'm not going to take this shallow one because I don't have enough room. So this one's out in my opinion. And the reason for that is because we basically double top. So they'll usually take out a micro swing, which they're trying to do. And we're going to be looking for this line or this line. So this is our little sweet spot right here. But we can't go this low. See what I mean? That's already been tested, and that's a higher low. So we've got to have a higher low than that line right there. Okay? So looking to the left to trade the right, there's my trade. Everybody see it? They test these. Now, could you put your stop under here? Absolutely. And, make sure that you got it like on exit on close, to give an example. Because to get this to head up again, even if it doesn't even take out these tops, it's going to check these swings on the left. See how that bounced right there? Now, I took that a little bit more aggressively, and you don't have to take it quite that aggressively. You can wait for the bar to close. Okay? You can definitely wait for the bar to close, because your safest trade will be to wait for the bar to close. Okay? And put you a nice tight stop. Okay? Now, you notice that took us out. All right? and I had that on, oh, that's 8:30. Anybody remember this little trade call that was made in the room this morning? You want to see how to take it? I'm gonna pause it for just a second because I see already you had to pretty much just grab it. But look at your lightning. Let's go ahead and draw lightning 1. That's fine. All right. Notice how your power meter is still red. It'll be green if it closes above this. Okay. Does anybody remember that trade that was called in the room this morning? Anybody at all? But keep in mind, you don't have to take it like on the breakout. You can always, let it do a little pullback, to give an example, which it's already done, by the way, in my opinion. Now, another way to take this, and we also drew this one in the room too this morning. See, when you have looking to the left to trade the right, okay, you have a low, a high, a higher low, and you're getting a little higher high, okay? So couldn't you also wait for this to pop above mid-band and then just stay right on top of this little swing? I would draw a line like this, and let me show you what actually happens on these. See there? See there where it kissed it? See where it kissed it? That's the way you do it. That's exactly the way you do it. Okay? And you will notice that this is not hokey pokey because we called that trade in the room this morning. I mentioned we're getting a phantom trade. Okay? This was at 8:30 even on YM. We also mentioned to box it in at mid-band. So here's how you could actually do this. I'm going to slow this down or even pause it for just a second. Let me draw a region. And I'm going to put it down where you would have taken the trade first off, because this is where you should have taken the trade. This is called a phantom trade. And basically, the way you do on this, let me get rid of lightning 2 and 1 just real quick. Go ahead and get rid of lightning 1. All right. Now, notice when this actually kissed phantom right down here, you basically have a bar down, and a bar up, okay? So what you really want to do is you want to basically put your entry where the third bar closes above the third bar back. So let me see if that's showing that enough for everybody to see. And I'm going to make the bars a little bit bigger. Okay, notice that your bar went down, and your bar went up. So you have in other words, you've got a bar down and a bar up. So that's 2 of your bars. Okay, see where that little wick is right there? That's your entry right there. Now that's an aggressive entry. Okay, and if you took that, you'd have to put your stop under here. Everybody see that? That's a phantom trade, absolutely. And by the way, we're going to go over phantom trade a little bit, because if you will learn to watch for mid-band trades and phantom trades, especially first time into trend changes or after ratcheting, that's 2 of the best trades you can possibly get. Okay, so I called this trade right here in the room this morning, phantom trade. Okay, so you were actually entered on the trade on this bar right here. You would have probably gotten your fill roughly at 24,755. Remember I said 756 is what I got? Okay, and the reason for that is because it pops out of there and you probably got a tick of slippage. No big deal. Okay, but that's your trade right there. That's a phantom trade. First time after a trend change. Is there an alert for a phantom trade? There's really not, although that could actually be added real easily, Dave. But we're going to do better than that. We're going to add that as an auto trade. We're going to have that trade automatically look for that trade. And I think that'll be a pretty darn good trade too. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to load the boat down here, because, at the open of the market, this could have easily cratered this too. But let's look to the left to see why we took it, because you should be seeing it right now. Anybody see it? Call out the number if you see why we took a long. Anybody? 24,743. That's right. Everybody see it down here? Absolutely. There you go. Our people are getting it. Now, looking at this chart, Let me get rid of these lines real quick. We don't need them anymore as much. And we'll go ahead and close out the trade. It's no big deal. I'm trying to teach you how to see these trades. It's a lot more important than actually just showing some, fake P&L. But you heard the trades called in the room, okay? But see how this is a higher low than over here, okay? But looking to the left to trade the right, was this ever a short to begin with? If you looked over here, and the answer is really what? No. See your high, low, much higher high. So here's your identified swing right over here. Was that ever taken out? No. No. And we've got the software to keep you on the right side of the trade also, because as long as this mid band is heading up, now this is going pretty sideways, but it's still in an uptrend. Okay. And as long as you can see all these lines are squiggling up, phantoms squiggling up, you're not looking for shorts. I wouldn't look for a short on this chart right here until it absolutely at least broke this. Then I look to the left to trade the right, and I say, you know what, you got to swing there too. So I would put a box to watch. I wouldn't necessarily take a breakout trade, but I'd watch this little box. If it broke down, I might think about shorting it. Okay, but if you notice, it didn't break down. Now let me show you another trade that you can actually do, and this is called boxing in at mid-band, okay? Or if you boxed in at mid-band, you would have actually been in on basically, looks to me like that bar. Well, my cursor turns to a little, right there. That's the bar you would be in on, because see, it closed above the swing, above the little boxed in area, okay? So that would be your entry right there. Now, what if you missed that? Could you box this in? Yeah, you can box this in. But keep in mind, looking to the left to trade the right, where would your stop be? Anybody? How about there? So let's box it in. Let's do it for the fun of it. We'll do a region, and we'll just box it in like that. We're looking for longs, right? There you go. You just got it. Everybody see that? Now, where would my stop be now? I don't have to keep my stop all the way down here anymore, right? Because looking to the left to trade the right, and also looking to the right for my trail stop, I could actually trail my trail right here, right now. See it? Just right under that swing. I could move these targets out of the way. Because if you remember this morning, we got a 100-tick move on YM. Anybody remember that? This was just literally minutes after the market opened too. Okay, but can you clearly see with a 4-range chart how you can see these swings just mightily? Now, when Charles and I talk about where to put your stop, we talk about an aggressive stop and we talk about a more conservative stop. Okay, now if you've got multiples on, let's say that I've only got this set for 3. So let's say that you had 3 on. Well, you don't want it pulling all the way back to here. Okay. You just don't want to do that. So what you can do instead of that is say, you know what? I'll take 2 of those off if I happen to get a PM meter to the downside, and you could take 2 off if it happens to break that little swing. And it didn't do it. So see, you're literally riding your runner now. Everybody see that? Okay, now notice that I've got a swing right under here now, but I've got a real shotgun. Now usually what I end up doing when that happens is I will usually go ahead and go to like line 6 or line 5 for a stop. Simply go line 5, engage it, and it goes to that line right there, line 5. Okay, because line 6 is a really, really tight stop. They will get you on line 6 most of the time. Okay, now you don't have to hold this with 3 contracts either, because if anybody remembers this morning, this really shot up quickly, pretty much right out of the gate. This was a high energy time, by the way. that was on your high energy list that we give you every night? Okay. Now, let me ask you another question. Some people say, you know what, let's kill this. I don't like to personally jump in a trade when it's already thrust like this, but with our software, can you still do that? Anybody? And the answer is you can, because what you do is you want to get a pullback, obviously. I'd like to get it to here, looking to the left to trade the right, okay? And that's also where it busted up, but you don't always get that. Now, a trade that I know Charles teaches quite well, and I love it myself too, but you got to be careful with it. Line 6, okay? If it breaches line 6 or even stealth, then as a rule, you can box it in, okay? Now, line 6 is a little bit shallow, but keep in mind that you can actually still do this, you know, put a region on it, okay? And if it happens to break that region, you can go ahead and take that trade, okay? Now, we like for it to at least touch stealth, if at all possible, or even breach stealth, okay? Watch what actually happened on this, I'll go ahead and put a long on that. See how it just touched stealth? Just touched stealth. And there you go, you just got you a trade. Where would you put your stop? Well, immediately you'd probably put it right under the swing. That way, just in case they decided they were through, you could actually, you know, you'd be protected. Now, could you ride this trade with what we call looking to the left to trade the right? Well, the answer on that's yes also. Draw your lightning on your chart with your indicator. You know, we got an indicator on here called lightning 1, lightning 2, lightning 3, and lightning 4. Okay? Your lightning indicators are on there for a reason, and that is to keep you, well, you can absolutely see what's going on. Now, would I have my stop way down here, anybody, after what I just taught you? No. No, and we've got trails that'll actually trail this thing too. Okay? We've got trails that will absolutely trail this. Let's see, what is the height of the box? When do you change the height? You can change the height yourself, Bill, on your question. The box, as a rule, it draws on a couple of bars, but it likes to look at swings. Let me just draw it again for you. I'll just hit insert and see how it draws on like almost like a little 1, 2, 3 reversal. You know, kind of a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Okay. Now, we've got tools built into Object Trader, by the way, that I can actually stay with this trade based on another trail stop we have called Lightning. Okay. And let me go ahead and just hit my space bar. My Lightning's way down here. Okay. My Lightning 1, let's see where it's at. My Lightning 1's right here. See this little swing to the left? So I can actually go ahead and put my trail stop with Lightning. See how it'll pop right to it? We designed Object Trader pretty well. I mean, it does a lot. Okay? And you just simply ride the trade. Okay? Notice how YM just keeps going and going and going. Now, let me ask you a question. Why would you want to get out of this trade yet? The strength is the lightning meter. Basically, this is your strength right here on your trail stop. Now, that's where you draw these little dots if you want them, and this will trail with this automatically. Okay? You can also even use a trail stop called PM1 if you want to. And it's virtually the same type of thing, except you can scale out instead of getting out of everything, which is kind of cool too. Okay? But what so many people end up doing is they miss out on a really good run because they get out too early, and then they kick themselves because then they jump in and they give up their money back because they jumped in when they probably shouldn't have. They needed to wait for at least a little retrace, like this little area here, this little area here. Everybody see it? See how this comes right back on top of a swing? Could you take a trade when it does that? Yes. Could you take a trade when it comes back on top of that swing? Yes. Could you take a trade when it comes back on top of this swing? Yes. How do you set a particular lightning, Kenneth? You mean for the trail stop or for the scaling? You can actually use lightning. You know, I can even use lightning on like a 4 strength if I want to. That's going to take that thing way down here. Okay, I can use it on, you know, a 3 strength, and it'll take it, but it's about the same. All right. You can even set it on, well, 15 strength is going to be your lightning 3, basically. See, that's way down there. You're not going to want to use that, obviously. But you've got all kinds of swing strengths you can use on here. I like 2 and 1 as a rule. See, 1 will actually bring it right underneath this little swing here, and watch it jump up. It'll jump up if this will kind of pop up. And then you can just get out of your trade when lightning is broken. And by the way, you don't have to have these dots on your chart. Object Trader knows where lightning 1 is. You know, I just put those dots on by hitting the space bar. It'll still move the trail stop accordingly in real time with lightning. And let's do offset of 0 on it and engage. And it's still engaged, so we're still good. And let's see how far this went before it stopped us out. See how it popped up again? Your stop's right there under lightning. Your stop's totally under lightning. So could you then move your targets out of the way and just use your lightning? Now keep in mind, this is the left side of the chart, but you've also got a right side of the chart with a trail stop. Now, when you use lightning, you're actually using the left side. So this stop is right here. Now, what I personally like is if this goes red, I will get out of a trade a lot of times. Okay, watch and see if we get a red at all. You would if you actually get power meter 1. Basically it's still green, so we'll stick with it. Let's see if it goes red. What's that meter right there? Not yet. Yep, there it just went red. And see, you're now stopped on that. Now let me ask you a quick question. Anybody that's watching this webinar right now, where's your next trade on this chart? All right, let's diagnose it. Draw some lines. Got a swing there. Got a swing here. This little sweet spot. Looking to the left, trade to right. That's my micro swing on the left, and that's my secondary swing. I'm going to take a chance, but keep in mind that when they've run like this, you're going to start scalping, right? Okay, so let's go over here, and we'll just simply go for like 10 ticks. That'd be a $100 bill, by the way. Okay, let's see if we can get down there. Now keep in mind, if this is going to head up, we want a higher low again, right? We want a higher low than this right here. Or no further down than just touching it. And by the way, we've got a tool you can use too. Let me just do a region here. Hopefully I can get it quick enough. We'll do a region instead. Just do your insert for region. Bring it down. Touch +2. Inside or outside, whichever it decides to go. And see if we can get a trade. 10 ticks. So it'll either go here as it pops out, or it'll go at the bottom. See how it fired it at long inside? All we're trying to do is get 10 ticks. By the way, that's a $100 bill, so could that actually be, you know, a decent way to make money even after all this great move? And the answer is yes, it certainly can be. And by the way, if you wanted to add, you just turn that on and it'd go a total of 3. And I'd put my stop now just right under that secondary swing. So you're not risking but 4 ticks. Will it close? It might. We'll see. Didn't. See how those swings hold if you look to the left to trade the right? Now, will it continue holding? Well, we don't know, but we'll find out. It's wicking me. Notice why it didn't stop me out. Anybody know why? Because we've got it set on exit on close. Has to close the bar below it on a long and above it on a short. And there you go. You just got a $100 bill. Okay? Now, when you're sideways like this, what would be your next step on this? Well, to get, so far you've got a thrust retrace, right? So you need what we call an ABC. So let's look to the left to trade the right. I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm going to draw a line right here. This is a swing that we haven't tested. Well, we did test that one. So let's see if, got a little micro one right here. I don't particularly care for that one, but this is my sweet spot right here. A little lower. And unless we do a Gartley, and it'll be like a phantom. We'll see if we can get something. Everybody getting a little clearer on how to see looking to the left to trade the right? It's pretty cool. It can really work out to your advantage. And by the way, we haven't even shown oil because I just wanted to kind of show what we called on, there you go, you just got another one. Now, would I put a pretty tight stop on this one? Yeah, I would actually, just in case. Might do it a couple of ticks underneath there. Let's see, that's 5 ticks. That's pretty good. And we're just trying to go for 10 ticks. And I'd probably even go for my 3 if it touches. Because with 5 ticks, that's not going to cost me that much anyway. And I'm trading what? I'm trading mid-band, sideways. Now, does everybody see what's kind of happening? YM's gone up an awful lot. So what do you do when you see that? Anybody? Looking to the left to trade the right. Anybody? You got to be ready for either a phantom or a trend change. Because when they're starting to get lower highs, see how they actually did this? You can see it. Thrust, retrace, thrust. So you've actually got what we call a 1, 2, 3 to the downside. Now, does this mean this is going to change trends? Not just yet, but you do have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. Okay? So what I would be looking for would be this. If they make another a priori swing, we'll find out if they do. This is our a priori swing here on what we call lightning 3. Okay, let's fast forward this and see if we can get it. We can get our 10 ticks. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe. Yep, got it. Everybody see that? Okay, now let me ask everybody, if you look to the left to trade the right, okay? Now, when you've run like we just did, everybody sees that this was actually doing a stair-stepping up, 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 up until it started stair-stepping down, right? Okay, now that doesn't mean that you short it. It just means you got some good mid-band trades and things setting up on it. Okay, when you would short this trade will only be if they take out the swing right here. See how you have a 1, 2, 3? And notice that my a priori is showing up there? That's a 15 swing strength. So if that breaks, then yeah, more than likely I'm looking for a short. Okay? Let's just fast forward it and see if it did it. Broke it. Broke it. Broke it. Everybody see that? draw your lightning on your chart and you'll see where it broke too. So you have a low, okay, you have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low, and it makes two a prioris there. That's like an ABC. All right. Now, is this actually a phantom type trade? Yes. Okay. Now, this is a phantom that I would be looking for about a 10 ticker. Okay. I will definitely protect my coin, though, if this decides to take that out. Okay. And aren't you looking for a short on this chart now instead of a long? Anybody? Look to the left to trade the right. Well, we got a red background now. Let's draw our lightning and we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to change my colors. I cannot stand that red. All right, let's see here. Okay, we thrust down, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust. Okay, so let's see if we can get 10 ticks first. We're long too, but we're looking to short this. If it hits this area right here and as high as right there. Okay, so this is my little sweet spot, looking to the left to trade the right. And let's see if we get us a quick short. Everybody see the sweet spot by looking to the left to trade the right? Now, does this mean this may not go up on me? We may get stopped out on this. We're going to find out. Let's see if we can get 10 ticks. 10 ticks. Are we going to get 10 ticks or not? Maybe not. By the way, if you ever get unsure of a trade, looking to the left to trade the right, if this pops up above this swing right here, I'll put my stop right where that yellow line's at. In the meantime, you could definitely put it there. See the little swing right there? With exit on close. And if it stops me, it stops me. Because technically, I'm doing a phantom, and this is not first time in after a trend change. So this is not an 85% probability trade. The 85% probability trade on YM was way back right here. That's your 85% probability trade. First time after a trend change. Phantom. Okay. Now, when they ratchet up, I still consider them quite good. For instance, when this came down to phantom right in through our open, right in here, those are still good trades. Okay. That was an excellent trade right there. Everybody saw that when we actually took it. Well, when it was boxed in. You also had another one right here that we called in the room. And this was where it was just sideways. Okay. But keep in mind on a phantom type trade, you do not have to just say, you know what, I'm just going to grab this the second it touches that line. Well, you could be grabbing a rock that's dropping like a stone. Terrence, that's a very, very good question. I'll answer that for you too. A phantom trade on Viper is simply the first time after a trend changes. Let me go over exactly how we do this. Bear with me just 1 second. And always look to the left to trade the right too. If you happen to see, like for instance, I was diagnosing this. This is your swing right here. See your high, your low, and it pretty much just thrust up. This is just a little noise right here. This is a swing. See the swing where it pulls down? So this went high, low, much higher high. So that's my left side identified swing. Okay. Notice that it never took that out. So therefore I'm looking for longs. Plus everything's telling me to too, because I've never taken my phantom out and I've never even gotten a red background. But a phantom trade, what you're looking for, I'm going to show you how accurate these are. Okay, notice that you had a downtrend. See how you have this magenta and red right here? Okay, you have to go from one extreme to the other. In other words, you go from short to long, you're looking for the phantom down in here. And vice versa on a short. Okay, So let me show you the trade on the long. Okay, so you're looking for the first time, and you're literally already knowing where it's going to be. It's going to be like that. Okay, all we're looking for is to get within a couple of ticks, one tick, as close as we can get to this line 2. Now, let me tell you what the lines are all about. This is line 0. This is line 1. This is line 2. Okay, this is line 3. See where that shadow is right there? This is line 4, which is the midband. Anytime we say midband, it's line 4. And this is line 5, right at the shadow, the little yellow shadow. This is line 6. This is line 7. And this is line 8. All right, now you've got your total lineup of where your phantom will be. Your phantom on a long is going to be between line 2 and 1. Okay, your short, on the other hand, is going to be between line 6 and 7. See where 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so we're long, right? So we're not looking for a phantom up here, we're looking for it down here. So a phantom is simply this trade right here. See where this box was drawn? Let me just get it over there. See there? That's the phantom trade. That is about an 80 to 85% probability trade if you follow the rules of first time after a trend change. Now, trend change simply means midband goes from short to long, looking for a phantom. That trade right there is usually your run where you get those monster runs like that. Okay. Now, when we got in now this is yesterday, by the way. Okay. So this is a new day here. So this again would be first time into phantom, but not after a trend change. Okay. But you are looking still for this phantom here. And that was this one that we called in the room at 8:30 right there. That's a phantom also. That's a phantom. And the way you can take these is down bar, up bar, breaks the second bar, like on this particular trade here. You have a down bar and up bar, so your wick's right there, right? So the moment down bar, up bar breaks that with that bar, you're in. Okay? This one here is also a phantom. Okay? So you have a down bar, up bar, you're in on that bar. See that right there? Down bar, up bar, breaks, third bar back with the close, you're in. And you got a 10-tick trade even on that one. Is this a phantom? No. Phantom has to be line 2 to line 1, or at least within a tick or so of line 2. And you'll have red bars. The red bars just mean it's a deeper probe is all it means. Okay? So you're looking for that trade right there. And that's why in the room, we called this one right here. And if you just simply boxed in this trade, when I said phantom, now when I say phantom in the room tomorrow morning, to give an example, you're going to look at this in real time and you're going to say, okay, I've got a candle down. I'm going to draw a line. If I get another candle down and I didn't see my candles up, then that's my entry right there. Right there on that bar. Monster trade. Okay? That's simply a 1, 2, 3 reversal and basically boxing in is what you're doing there. Okay? Now, over here to the farther side of the chart, let me show you a short phantom. I'll bet you get one on oil or YM more than likely. Let's see here. Well, let's just watch and see. I'm almost out of time, by the way. But where's our phantom? Real quick, before we go any further, where's our phantom on a short? Now, notice that you have a long midband. Your midband colors for long are your lime green, which you're not going to see for a long time because this was a monster uptrend today. Okay, but way back here, you saw a green, well, somewhere in here. Yeah, right here, barely had green right there, and after that, it was pretty much the highs of the session. Okay. Now, if I was to show you the exact same trade on a short, where would it be? I just taught it. So we already know that our trade's going to be up here, like so. Okay. Let's fast forward it and see if we got it. And we may not get a phantom. Let's expand our box. Look at that. Look at that. It's expanded over. Now let me ask you a quick question. Is that a phantom? Answer yes or no. And that's an up bar, that's a down bar, that's your wick right there. If it closes below that line, you want to just go ahead and fire it? I'll fire it. Let's just fire it. We'll do it with 3, and we'll just simply sell it if it closes below. Well, yeah, you could put a region. Let's just do it. We'll put a region instead. Hopefully I can do it before this thing drops. If not, I'm going to hit market order. But let's do an insert. We'll just simply do a region outside. And I would probably even do a region up at this top too, simply because I like to get in. I wouldn't do it probably with 3, so we'll actually do it. We'll do it with a close. We'll do it with a close only. Close plus 0. That is a phantom trade, first time after a trend change. Will it pay off? Well, it already is. Where would our stop be? Anybody? Where would your stop be? Right here. I'd put it on exit on close and looking to the left to trade the right. Where do you think the trade's heading? Anybody? Well, you've got a swing right down here. You got a swing right down here. And I'd probably run a runner. And I'd probably go for something like that. Now, let me ask you another quick question on this. Judging by what I just taught, looking to the left to trade the right, where would we put our stop? Anybody? We're watching for lightning. We're watching for the swing to be identified. Is it getting ready to be identified right here? Well, if it closes below here, it is. See my cursor? If it closes below this swing right here, this swing will be identified. So could you bring your stop down there, or could you use our mighty little tool called lightning and just simply engage the trail, and it'll engage for you. See there where it engaged at lightning? Okay. How many of you got a real good appreciation for how to trade our software? The phantom trade, by the way, I've talked to some people and they go, I don't like phantoms. Well, then you're not trading them right, because you have to understand what a phantom is. A phantom has to change trends from going from one extreme to another to get that phantom trade. That phantom trade will get you a lot of 80, 60, 40, 50 tick trades. Had to take out deep retracement, not phantom. Well, Robert, on your question, and that's a good one, by the way. Okay. Now keep in mind that this still had some trades in here too. See that mid-band trade? That's a good trade right there. Okay. Now, usually when it goes above mid-band and comes back below it, I'll usually fire it on that bar right there myself. Okay. And if it doesn't take out the low, you're looking for highs. You know, you're looking for higher. And where would we put our stop now? Anybody? Well, we don't have any lightning right now, so unfortunately it'd have to be where it is, but I wouldn't leave it where it's at. I would bring my stop down, something like that. And there you just got a nice trade. Let's see, do you have additional teaching videos, Terrence, on your question? Well, we've got webinars all over the site that you're welcome to watch. Let me show you where they're at. If you go to vipertradingsystems.com and simply go to our home, well, you're on the home page whenever you go to vipertradingsystems.com. then click on webinars, and you're going to see a bunch of webinars, and they're dated as early as 5/26. Now, I haven't uploaded about a week's worth, but we will be, since I did this webinar tonight. It'll be up here by tomorrow morning. Okay. The Phantom's not really a judgment call as much as a box call, because if you think about it, what does it take to change even micro lightning? It just takes that zigzag, doesn't it? It absolutely just takes that little zigzag. Now that actually, if I left this engaged, my stop automatically pops if they get another. See where lightning was then? That's why I put it there. Okay. Now watch and see if it won't go ahead and put it here in just a minute. We'll find out. Let's see if they do. Oh, I got a target anyway. But you can see where you'd be putting it. Okay. But keep in mind that, again, a Phantom short is between 6 and 7, or at least within a tick or so of 6. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this area right here completely. Okay. It just has to touch this line 6. Okay. I like it when it gets within at least 1 to 2 ticks tops of that, and then I watch for a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Now, will they all work? No, because this could have been heading up. You could have actually, hit a low. They could have started stair stepping up, come back into mid band, and just headed up like a big dog. But the way you do it, you just simply fire the trade, and then you got a real tight stop anyway. What is the definition of hard offset versus offset ticks? A hard offset, all that means is just simply, when you're in a trade, let's go ahead and fire a trade again just real quick, and I'll show you. I'm going to go ahead and short one more time. We'll just go for 10 ticks since it's not taking out those lows. And we'll do 2, and I'll fire it if it gets up to mid band. And I'll show you what that means, hard offset. Not quite there yet. Where's it going, anybody? Isn't it going right there? Well, it should. Let's see if it does. Hope I didn't run out of juice. No, I've got it. I've still got some recorded. We're going to wrap this in just a minute. That's right at mid-band. What do you think? Anybody? Don't hesitate too long. You won't get your trade. Should I take it? Should I wait one more? See if this bar closes? What do you think? You got to hurry. What says the team? Sell it? Well, you could also do this. Well, we're already too late now. See where it came right to that mid-band? Just a beautiful little trade. Let's see if it does it one more time. It may not. I'll fast forward a little bit and see if we can get it. That's close enough. That hit mid-band that time. All right, I'm going to slow it down just for a second. I'll show you what hard offset is. All right, we wouldn't be setting these targets way out of the way like this, or even my stop, because I want to just show you something real quick. Hard offset simply means if I was to put my trail, let's say that I do my lightning, all right, on lightning 1, and if I hit my space bar, just one second. Am I out of data? There we go. Okay. What hard offset means is you're just simply moving the dots. See there? That's hard offset, which means that if I'm on regular offset with, like, let's say that I have a lightning 2, okay? Your lightning 2 is right there, okay? But if I hard offset it for inside, I can go this way, like minus, or I can go this way on plus, okay? That way I could put my offset just a little bit above that, just in case. So that's what the hard offset is. Now the offset ticks just simply means when you're doing a swing, it's actually just offsetting the swing algorithm itself. Okay. Now, does anybody see, very possibly, let's kill this because we didn't get anything on that trade, but I see where it's going. Looking to the left to trade the right. Let's get rid of this. And let's see if we can get one more trade. And we need ABC, right? So we're looking for a little ABC. We don't have to take it, though. It's 10 after. What did everybody get out of this today, by the way? Pretty good. Will this get me 10 ticks? We'll find out. Fast forward it and see. Got it. What does everybody think about looking to the left to trade the right from now on your charts? Because if you look to the left and you draw your lines on your charts, you're not going to hit every single one of them, but you're going to absolutely get in some really good trades. And by the way, 2 contracts on 10 ticks even is a $100 bill. Reinforce phantom trades and remove some fears. And that's the whole thing. You want to make sure that you're not afraid of this trade right here. This trade right here is the phantom trade, right? And you don't want to be afraid of this trade, which is right here. And this is your opposite phantom, right? So learn to take those, and rather than being, short where some people are going, you know what, I didn't get short at the double top because, heck, it could have gone another 40 ticks. So you don't get short till it breaks a swing, or maybe you wait, well, it needs to break mid-band, and by the time you get in, you're here, and you're wondering why you're getting your teeth kicked out in your trading because you're not looking to the left to trade the right. You've got to see where your previous swing is on the left, and you've got to look to see, at the time, for instance, is this swing being taken out right here? See your high, your low, your much higher high? No, that's the left side of the chart. And until it takes it out, it's not heading down. Later during the day, how many swings do you look at? Your most important swings are on the left side of the chart. To give an example, like this one right here, if you were looking at this in real time and you said, you know what, I got in, I don't know, this is 3 o'clock in the morning, so I wasn't even up. But let's say that you're in this trade, all right, and you're watching it. And you say, you know what, this thing broke that swing right there, didn't it? So isn't that my identified swing on this chart? And the answer is absolutely yes. Now, when does it not become my identified swing? Okay, watch the chart and see. It's still your identified swing, isn't it? Until where? Anybody? That's still your identified swing on this chart on the left. Now, does this mean you wouldn't have stopped out of this trade like right through here even? And the answer is yes, because you're breaking lightning to the downside, and that would have turned red. So, but look at your retraces and everything and see if you can't take some great trades. Right on top of the swing, see it? A nice little 10-tick trade. Did it take out this swing here? It even checked an a priori swing right there. That's your lightning 3. So you're just drawing on your charts and you see these trades in real time. If I would have been up at 3 o'clock, I would have gotten that trade. If I would have been up at 6:30, as a matter of fact, I was up at 6:30 and I got that trade. And I called that trade live in the room, for anybody that wanted it. And the exact way I said it was, we've got a phantom trade setting up on YM. And that's the trade you're looking for. Okay, let's do it tomorrow in the morning. We'll call some great trades again. And you can also even use the time box. That's another feature that we've got in Object Trader. And I'll go over that in another webinar here very, very shortly again. But this webinar was strictly about teaching people to see, looking to the left to trade the right. And it does make a big difference in your trading. Okay? Thanks, everyone, for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. Dennis, when will the Object Trader move to Ninja 8? That's a good question. I would say more than likely it's still going to be, mid to end of summer. My our programmer is working on the indicators as we speak, and he has been for a while. But unfortunately, object traders literally got tens and tens and tens of thousands of lines of code, and you know, well, we could stay seven for a while as far as it goes on object trader. I'm not going to worry about it as long as we can call trades that a person could actually literally be up that much. Not saying everybody can do that, and it'll take a while to get there. And all you got to do is get in a few trades with 3 or 4 contracts to the wrong side, and you can give, 500 of that away real quick too. But if you learn to look to the left and see what's on the left side of the chart, and then watch for these beautiful phantom trades and mid-band trades, life can be sweet. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the morning. Sorry this ran 15 minutes over. And I'll have my charts up for sure in the morning. I'll get up early enough that I'll make sure everything's squared and ready to go. All right. Thanks again. Bill, on your question, validated swing instead of identified swing? Well, we've always called it identified swing because to me that means it's identified itself as a true swing. So I guess validated or identified would work. It'll be hard to teach an old dog new tricks, though, unfortunately, because I've called these swings identified for like 9 years. Okay? Thanks, everyone. Just remember, Bill, if I say identified, it's validated. All right. See you, everyone.